We'll just sit right next to Dora's machine and do the podcast, and then they'll realize that maybe the broom closet's the better option.
51. Podcast 51.
51. This is podcast 51. It honestly seems like we were just here. It seems like we just did a podcast. The days are going by so fast.
It seems like we just did podcast number 1 just a couple weeks ago.
I don't know about that.
February 28th, 4:35. Getting cool. It's supposed to snow.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow this weekend. I don't believe it.
Which is a trip. I got sunburned 2 fucking days ago out there spraying. I wasn't out there 30 minutes spraying weeds and got fucking sunburned.
Do you have to spray weeds if it's going to snow?
Well, I wanted to make sure that it fucking... Because
I have them coming up in my driveway, and I was actually going to spray last week, and then I'm like,
here's my
concern. It's supposed to fucking snow.
Here's my concern. I wanted to kill them before the seeds, because they were starting to come up and going to go to seed, so all those seeds will be there.
Yeah.
I love burning them, but when I burn them,
they grow faster.
Different shit grows. A whole different fucking
they grow faster.
Fauna.
As soon as if you're ever on the property and you're driving through Peachtree Row over there, the best trees we have, the 2 best peach trees we have, there was an accidental fire and they almost burned to the ground. But man, they fucking popped after that.
It's fucking crazy. They are the biggest trees on the property. I was torching before everybody got here. Torched all around. We mulch fucking heavy, like 12 to 20 inches of fucking wood chips. But not around, like, the drip line. So where the tree, like the widest part of the tree, right? So there, all the way in, is dirt. It's because I want all the fucking moisture to go down, all that shit, right? So grass grows right there. So I torch around there. I get up next to the tree and blow the fire the other way. Well, in doing that, it superheated some of the bark. So by the time Tyler and them got to work, like, it's billowing smoke, there's flame, the wood chips are on fire, and it's not baled wood chips. It is like shredded tree pulp. Tree pulp. It's green tree that has been rained on many, many times, but it was warm enough, it got hot enough that it actually caught it on fire and smoked the fuck. So by the time we got out there with the hoses and put all the shit out, all the leaves on the trees are totally wilted, and the tree lost all its fucking foliage. But those trees, and that year, it fucking grew more leaves and put on peaches, and we were eating peaches off those trees that year. Those trees are the biggest fucking trees that we planted on the property.
I thought it was going to be like one of those coal fires, because we have, no shit, 90% of this property here is covered in 3 inches, maybe even 4 inches of tree bark. They bring that shit in the truckloads and dump it, and we spread it. I thought it was going to be like the coal fires. I thought we were going to have they were going to have to evacuate us because it had been burning for 100 years.
But if you notice, like when you drive the tractor up top by the dog kennels and shit, it's fucking 20 inches deep there. Like,
it's fucking, and it's like black good soil.
You can put your fucking arm all the way down in the ground there. We have
good soil, man.
When we came on the first time on the property, it was all fucking rock. And brambles and that fucking Camden clay, that chert, fucking nothing. You couldn't take the sharpest shovel and dig a fucking hole. You could not fucking dig a hole. And now we've got real dirt here. So we'll knock this one out. Nick goes home at 5.
Kung Fu tonight.
Amanda took off. Chef and Gabby are taking off for till
parts unknown.
Wednesday.
God, we're gonna. I don't know if we'll make it, Chef. Day 1. What will we eat?
Star date.
It's gonna be rough. I feel like I'm gonna be in here by candlelight doing the thing. Day 1.
Who would we eat first?
Well, I mean, the sellers make us money, so we would probably have to start on the guys. Bill is.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there to eat, so it'd have to be Nick.
But Nick's more valuable. He has more skills right now.
Well, then I guess we're gonna have to eat Amanda.
She's kind of small.
She is small.
Let's lure somebody.
We'll lure somebody in?
But if we lure in a local, you might get a disease.
Yeah, you'll get parvo for sure.
We're gonna have to think on that.
Yeah, we will have to think. Maybe.
If you want to come join the cult.
You know what? We have a lot of tourniquets.
If you want to come join the cult, bring us some food as well.
Well, how about this? We have a lot of tourniquets. The sewers really only need one leg.
I'm pretty good with that.
So we could we could just go through and get everybody's leg.
Humans survived for thousands of years without power. We want nuclear power. We don't fucking need it. I hear what you're saying. But could you imagine how your life would be right now if the fucking power went out?
It probably, you know what? You'd be happier
for a couple days.
You'd be happier. You would get better sleep.
If the power went out and everything was chaotic, you would spend the next fucking 6 weeks running around amassing the shit to be comfortable without power.
I'm just saying, the first 90 days is probably going to be pretty rough because people are going to start eating their toes. But after that, you're going to be like, you know what? Maybe this power wasn't all cracked up to be. You won't be able to talk to anybody, though, that's for sure.
Humans survived for thousands of years without power. We just did that one. John, when your rights are restored, what kind of ARs do you plan to get? I'm sure all of them is the answer, but where do you plan to start? Probably Knight's Armament.
I thought the goal was an FN Scar coffee table.
Not a coffee table, a whole wall of them. Consecutive serial numbers.
Right, of course. And why else would you buy them if you're not going to get consecutive serial numbers?
And then on like Monday I'd shoot one, Tuesday I'd shoot another, Wednesday.
Like John's goal.
I'd have enough scars that I never even have to clean them.
John's goal would be to never put a magazine in a gun. It would be. What do you mean you can reload these things?
I almost caught up. And then Joe Rogan does a 4.5-hour podcast with Alex Jones and Eddie Bravo. Luckily, I'm on call this week and will have plenty of time driving around in the middle of the night for the extra content. I use 2 of your tool bags every day. Nothing comes close. And your taco pouch is almost perfect. I could use 30 of them. The zipper knife pouches will do the same thing.
The Joe Rogan thing and Alex Jones, man. I tried to listen to that podcast.
The new one?
And Alex Jones is legitimately crazy. If you listen to the pitch and the way he talks, you've got Joe Rogan doing he is like the psychiatrist right there on the couch. Every time Alex goes for it, Joe's like, all right, this is what we need to do. We need to calm down. We need to focus on what we're talking about here. And then we need to kind of listen to the explanation of why people are saying that. Every fucking time. And then Alex would just go, wah! Nuts again. Man, he is legitimately crazy. If anybody needs one of those pills, it's Alex Jones.
What are the pills?
Some sort of antipsychotic medication.
Abilify?
Maybe. I would just say, if you listen to it, if Alex is like, I'm not crazy, he says everything like he's in a fucking WWE wrestling match. He is legitimately crazy.
Who's Eddie Bravo? Is he on the same episode?
Yeah, he's on the same episode, but he's Eddie Bravo he's a fighter that Joe knows. I don't know why he's on there too.
So he wasn't in there to talk to Alex.
No, I don't think so. I think Joe brought him in there to make sure that Alex Jones doesn't go crazy and kill him.
Or just to have another witness.
Like, maybe another witness. Yeah,
I do that a lot. I'm like, come on, man, you're gonna have. I need another set of eyes.
Yeah.
John, I live in an army town, and I'm an auto technician. I hear you on the disabled vet tags. Everyone here has them. People never deployed have them, but you get cheaper tags and free toll roads with disabled veteran tags.
What town do you live in? Did he say?
He didn't.
Oh, I was going to say, because you don't need to have a disabled veteran tag here in the state of Tennessee. You just need to be a veteran. So move to Tennessee.
About the homeless vets, I mean the ones that are screwed up and slipping through the cracks. I never give shit to anyone begging on the street to get a job. Well, along with the homeless veterans, then I mean I would add into the anybody who literally is fucking crazy, screwed up, and slipping through the cracks, whether they're vets or not. We used to have places we kept those people, and
then the Nazis came.
Not where I was going, but
I mean that's the thing. The sad part is John's right. We used to have, you used to be able to send people to, I can't remember what they call it, Bellevue. So in New York City,
that's one of them.
New York City,
Kirkbride, Bellevue.
Yeah, the cops. You had an option. If you went out on the street and you picked up a guy who was Looney Tunes, They would, instead of transporting them to jail, they would transport them to Bellevue, and then they'd have to stay in Bellevue for an overnight observation. We have gotten rid of all those places.
They just call them psych wards now.
Yeah. But even most of the psych wards...
We have Bolivar.
You have Bolivar here?
Yeah.
It's just, they're not as prevalent as they used to be. So the question then becomes, if we start opening facilities up again to take care of these people who are definitely falling through the cracks, the question is, how do you pay for it? Because that's the reason why they got shut down, because we were overcrowding these. We were doing the same thing.
Well, it's greed. I mean, they started just putting homeless people into these places.
We were overcrowding them and not taking care of them.
And like the Kirkbride facilities were set up so that they would actually receive a lot of sunlight. They were built in weird maze patterns, so there was a lot of walls and compound angles and stuff, so there was a lot of windows, there was a lot of light coming into them, and they thought that the light would help people. There's a lot of courtyards and shit, but over time they became overcrowded, and then medical abuse, psychological abuse, everything started happening, and it just fucking got out of hand up until the 90s, when they literally closed them and put those people into the community. But a lot of the people that were in there did not belong in there. There was all kinds of reasons, like up until the late 50s, early 60s, you could literally have your wife committed. And there was a number of reasons. Like there was a board. I remember seeing a board. If you search Pinterest, there's put in asylums, you'll see some just fucking amazing, fucking crazy photos of these places. But there was an intake board, and reasons for intake for the month. Like 5 people were intook and put into the hospital for masturbating more than 3 times a day. That was one of them. But you could literally just have, if you were friends with a judge or...
There's a good solid reason not to put that person in a mental...
Not to masturbate?
Because Amanda just tell us that guy killed himself masturbating?
No, Amanda didn't. Somebody did tell us. Who was that? Died from masturbation.
Died from masturbation. Continuous masturbation.
Pulled his penis off.
Yeah, pulled his penis off.
So did he really die from masturbation, or did he die from blood loss?
I would think that the trauma from the penis coming off, the pure shock of you there holding your penis and looking at it, I think that would have killed you in the first place.
Colin worked at a psych ward. I want to say it was at Bolivar, maybe it was somewhere here in Tennessee, I want to say, and he had some fucking crazy stories. There was a room there that anytime you would go into the room, the door would fucking slam itself closed. Like all kinds of crazy shit would happen. And then I remember him talking several times. He had mentioned a patient that could not sleep. This kid literally was up 24. He had some condition, and you'd go in there and he'd just be sitting up on his bed with his eyes fucking wide open, even when he wasn't fucking there. It was pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
You can tell. Can we get some Ranger Dave stories? That's the next one.
Ranger Dave. There's so many Ranger Dave stories. I mean, the guy was a fucking. I still say, if you're DARPA or Skunk Works, if you're listening to me, if you guys out at Area 51 can't get the spaceship started, he's up in Oregon somewhere. It's going to be a motherfucker. It's like, it'll be the opening scene from Commando. You're going to lose a lot of guys. It's just going to happen. But you need to snatch Dave up and take him to Area 51 and just give him some PVC pipe and like some duct tape and, I don't know, fucking maybe a screwdriver set. And tie a chain or something around the wheel of the fucking UFO, because once he gets it started, he's going. He's not going to fucking ask permission to take off. He's just going to be gone. I mean, that's Ranger Dave.
And he's going to fuck all your aliens and leave a bunch of Ranger Dave alien babies.
And I 100% believe that to my core, that if there is some problem that you have, Defense Department, that you can't figure out how to fix, you need to go get Ranger Dave. Ranger Dave will fix it. And not only will he fix it, but the fix is going to cost like 75 cents, and it'll be at fucking Home Depot.
Yeah. If society collapses, Dave will show up here. He'll only be here for 72 hours.
Yeah, he'll show up here. He'll have fuel, because he'll have a fucking fuel station somehow on the back that's pulling fuel out of the air.
A fucking dirigible full of fucking liquid, like gaseous fuel, some new shit you've never heard of.
You never heard of.
That's Dave.
That's Ranger Dave, man. Fucking genius.
You can tell how excited Jeff is at the but has no social skills. Like, you can't take him to dinner.
Who? Oh, Ranger Dave?
Dave.
Yeah, you can't take him to dinner.
You can tell how excited Jeff is at the prospect of living in or near Camden. Edit, I mean, when you bring it up, John. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, you don't like Camden? I think that's what he's talking about.
I don't know.
I think he's telling you guys, like we've had so many people come here that are like, I'm coming from New York. I'm coming from California. I want to live, you know, a small town. Like, you guys all have this idea until it comes time to do it. And it's great. It's great. But you better bring some fucking pussy with you or be okay without having it, because
it's a small town.
It's a small town.
It's a small town. And I'm not even... my thing about that is small town. You know, most people don't understand what small town is. Yeah, I get it. Some of you lived in a small town and then you moved to a big city and shit. Or you not even a big city. I lived in Temecula. Temecula is not a big city.
It's a fucking giant... It's bigger than any city around here.
It's not a big city in
California.
California.
Nashville.
Right? Everything is available. You have to get used to the fact that things are not available. Meaning, if I want something specific, I have to go. I have to travel. I have to go. I have to make a decision. Okay, I'm either going 45 minutes to Clarksville, or I'm going an hour to Nashville, or maybe something crazy. I'll have to drive an hour and 30 minutes to Trenton.
Are you an hour to Nashville?
Well, maybe 45 minutes.
What? I'm 90 minutes to Nashville.
Yeah, but that's because
that's right.
You go way out here. I just go up to 13, and I'm
45 minutes home.
Yeah. So you have to.
You should get a helicopter.
Oh man, I'd love a helicopter. The only problem is I couldn't fly it. I'd need Ranger Dave again, or Leo. Those are the only two people I know who's ever flown a helicopter.
We got you like a helicopter kit.
A kit? I would rather
shift trike or something.
I would rather have a biplane.
You're not able to take a biplane.
Oh yeah, I would land it right here on the 70, turn it in the driveway, taxi up the driveway, park it out here.
We'd have to drop their power lines. Your belts aren't cheaper than anything. They may be less expensive, but that doesn't make them cheap. Yeah, we know, man. We know. Bruce Jenner, I heard about that person, then saw them on telly. They were on a talk show, loose women kind of thing. I could not motherfucking believe my bloody eyes. I'm a woman, blah, blah, blah. They were saying, good grief, total madness. And they said in the 80s, just say no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It is total madness that I don't know why the women's movement, you know, if you're a feminist, I do not know why you were railing against this. The top track stars, the top collegiate track stars in the United States right now are dudes running as women. I don't care if you want to bolt some titties on and cut off your penis. Don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Live that life. But the reality is, like I said before, you are, no matter what, you're still a dude. So bolt-ons are not getting in the MMA ring and fighting real women. No go.
But they're doing it, and mountain biking too.
Fucking any of that shit.
You're a mediocre dude. So you change and become a fucking woman. So you can
and that is what's going on. You have all these classes of competition where they can't really compete in the men's side. So guess what? I'm now a woman. I'm gonna go be a star at track and field. It's bullshit. Women need to fucking stand up for their rights as biological women. Have a fucking transgender Olympics if they want to do that shit.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it too.
Whoa. Let's be serious for a second. If Skully was a woman, he'd be one ugly, bearded, manly bitch.
My tits would be awesome, though. I would have some good tits.
How many tits would you get?
I mean, I'd get big tits. Big tits. I would not like crazy
back
big,
problem?
But borderline. I would go borderline back problem because tits can get, no matter what you say, tits can get you over on a lot of things.
Amanda wants big, huge tits. Like cartoon, ridiculous.
She's too small for cartoon titties.
Your back hurts all the time with the titties you got.
She's too small.
Yeah, she wants some. We're not talking like D's, like triple DF. I mean, like
Why?
big on a big bitch. That's just, I don't know.
Why? Why would she want to do that?
I think
she
I
looks
planted
just
that
fine.
a long time ago. The Constitution is the best document. The Bible doesn't come close. John and Skully. Need to share something with your listeners, viewers, regarding SOE customer service. I ordered a vehicle med bag in Typhon with red thread. Got it in Typhon. I was psyched and started to load it out, but then I was like, is the handle the red thread option? I emailed Mr. Willis with my order number and a couple of pics of the item, or Miss Willis. She responded with insane speed and let me know it was a miss pick on the order, and I apologize. That's
That would
because
have been me.
that's because it was
me.
Amanda's
I picked
fault.
it.
We didn't even know this happened. It's always Amanda's fault if something ships
It would
wrong.
have been me. I picked it.
She responded with lightning speed, let me know it was a mispick on the order, and I apologize. Then immediately gave me a return shipping label, and before I left for the post office after repacking it, I saw an email with shipping info and the correct item. I gave her tracking info on the return item. I have no clue why people make things harder than they need to be. It's really quite simple, and you guys are on it. A lot of times, the people that you hear whining about it is because they're complete little fucking cunts. Like, we really do. We make mistakes. We take care of them. But if you're a fucking... even if it's our mistake, if you're a fucking asshole,
Yeah.
you're going to have a fucking problem. Just remember when you're dealing with people, not us, anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
Me included. When I'm dealing with somebody and I'm fucking irritated or whatever's wrong, stop and remember that the person you're dealing with is the person that can give you what you want or keep you from getting what you want. There's no reason to be a fucking asshole about it. But for the most part, the people that we tell you about and the people you see out on the internet complaining about it, it's not that they're fucking everything's great in their life and we're the fucking only order they ever got that was wrong. They do that shit every
time.
fucking time.
They'll
Because
have-
they're looking for free shit. I cannot tell you how many dudes have fucking... like, I ordered a black shotgun card and you guys sent me a coyote one. I look up every one of those every single fucking time I pull the orders up and look, and lo and behold, this dude ordered a black shotgun card, ordered a coyote shotgun card, and now says we sent him the wrong one. So if that's the case, he should have 2 coyote ones in hand. I'm like, no problem, man, just shoot me a photo of both of them. Do you know that not one single fucking time has a dude ever showed us both of them? Nope, never. All he does is never fucking emails us again. We never hear back from those dudes, ever. It's fucking... because people are so used to complaining and being
getting free
rewarded.
shit,
Corporate policy places. I remember in 5th grade, my teacher having us write letters to companies asking for free stuff. Literally asking for free stuff. Oakley Sunglasses in like the 8th grade was sending kids sunglasses. Campbell Soup was sending people things. Capri Sun was sending cases of shit. Just asking for free shit. That's the new latest thing. Like, I get asked once a week, hey, can you please send me some of your free swag, t-shirts, hats, stickers, patches? And I always reply, yeah, no problem. Place some orders. We generally send some stuff out with them sometimes. All the stuff you just asked for, here's a link for it. You can buy it. We ship out fucking 10 grand worth of patches and stickers every single month. We have them available. If you order them today, they'll ship probably still today. And by the weekend, you'll have them right on the side of the bag that you should buy from us to put it on. Not one fucking time ever has
They
that
ordered.
dude been like, hey, I ordered.
Yeah.
Never. It's because people are used to getting free shit. We give a lot of free shit away. We give shit away on videos. Like, you want free shit?
Pay attention.
Be a fucking customer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be a piece of shit. We give shit to dudes that we want to have it, not dudes that fucking ask for it. I think we do our fucking part. My brother wants to do a DNA testing. Oh, the dude, he also said, don't let the hordes of retards and spoiled crybabies sway your will. I've been a customer for a while and will continue to do so. Take care. Right on. Thanks, man. My brother wants to do the DNA testing thing. Something like 23andMe. I guess they can test for different diseases and you're genetically likely to get it. I fear privacy issue with DNA testing. What are your thoughts on the family and yourself being tested?
Okay, first off, when they do due diligence, have your brother actually do some due diligence and do some research on what we're talking about. Don't rely on me. First off, when they when they do those DNA tests and they say, ooh, it's likely that you might grow a third ear because of your DNA, the percentages are, those percentages are shit. They don't fucking mean anything because they're not based off of anything real. Okay, so if they say you have a 60% chance of getting breast cancer, you should not run to your doctor and say, I need to get my boobs cut off because this DNA test says so. They don't have enough data. They don't have enough data for that stuff to be real. Okay? Even when they're talking about your .00235 Cherokee, it's based off of how many people have actually done it. It's the reason why they keep pushing, do these DNA tests, do these DNA tests, do these DNA tests. Because obviously, the more people they have, the more DNA they have available, the more accurate it's going to be. But right now, it's not fucking, it's not satellite accurate. It's fucking, they're actually just throwing darts at the fucking wall and going, yeah, he's probably part caveman. But more importantly, all of them, all those companies, to include 23andMe, has been giving that information to the government.
And pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, and pharmaceutical companies. I get that eventually, I am sure that eventually here in the United States, the federal government's going to have a DNA profile on every person in the United States. They're going to have fingerprints, fucking eye retina scans, how you're going to look 10 years in the future, blah. They're going to have all that.
Whether you know it or not, they're probably taking it from your fucking kids when they're born.
Yeah, they're probably going to have all that.
They're taking umbilical fluid and umbilical blood. I mean, why wouldn't they be profiling it?
I just don't think you should make it easy for them. And I just don't think you should make it easy for them, especially since that's your information, and when they're giving that information to drug companies, it may help somebody, but then it also may help them make a fucking, I don't know, make a super drug that kills everybody with brown hair or fucking everybody that's got six toes.
What you're going to see is you're predetermined to those things, so your insurance is
going to cost more. Once they start giving that shit to insurance companies, it's just going to, there is no reason to divulge the most private thing you have, your DNA.
Another dude says, me personally, I've been through the military entry processing, and before that, county jail, so they already have my DNA. Of course, they save your info. Yeah, they have mine, 100%, no fucking question. I've been DNA'd a couple times. What about your chip?
It's just where they keep it.
What about your chip?
Don't have a chip. I didn't get one.
You got one.
No, didn't get one. They took now.
They say nanoparticles are in fucking every vaccine they're using.
I don't believe that. They did specifically take DNA, so
for identification.
Yeah, for identification, so there won't be any more unidentified bodies on the battlefield anymore.
I use my real name and the same handle for everything. If you look hard enough, I bet you can find my house address. Yeah, probably so. That's we got some dudes that are really good on finding fucking
even if you're
shit talkers.
Even if your name is fucking Boo Boo Lafufu 42, you're leaving a little trail.
We always
goes all the way back to your house.
Badass podcast, keep this shit up. Good for you, Skully. I'm no Glock sucker either. We had 1911s in the Corps. And when it works so damn well, I don't fix it. Good night, chesty pull.
Semper Fi.
I thought the Marine Corps has Glocks now.
No.
They do not?
No.
The Navy has Glocks. The SEALs all have Glocks.
No. Even the Navy's still using SIGs.
No.
Your ninjas.
Uh-uh.
Then even the Navy's still using SIGs.
Maybe boat Navy. Fucking the SEALs are using fucking Glocks and have been for damn near 10 years
No way.
Now. Promise you.
It can't be 10 years because the SEALs that I was with didn't have any fucking Glocks. They were still using SIGs.
You've been out more than 10 years, buddy.
Yeah, but I'll bet they're still using SIGs.
Somebody answer that. What U.S. military units are using Glocks?
Dev Group, I guarantee you Dev Group's using SIGs. MARSOC guys, not SIGs, Dev Group's using Glocks. The SF guys are all using Glocks because they're using the 34s.
I had this conversation probably 8 years ago and was fucking completely blown away to.
Maybe SEAL Team 1 is using Glocks, but whatever.
Been tossing around the shoe porn statement at work any chance I get lately. And everyone has been getting a laugh out of it. Thank you, John and Skully, for making cool at work again. That's Jeff. Shoe porn was all Jeff.
Shoe porn is the shit.
Street fentanyl is make in clandestine labs, not by big pharma. Yeah, street fentanyl is a synthetic, and there's actually some new shit that's even fucking worse, man. We had a paramedic in here a couple weeks ago, and he was telling it, like I asked, that's why he started bringing it up, was telling us fucking crazy shit about fentanyl, local, within couple hundred miles of here.
Yeah.
Just placed another order today, guys. Go ahead.
No, a lot of it, when you say it's not made in pharmacies, it depends on what you mean and where you mean. They just busted a shipment. A shipment came into Long Beach,
China.
From China.
But that's where it's all China labs. Like that's where all the
China
fucking
lab.
black market steroids were coming from.
500 gallons of fentanyl.
And that's just the one they found.
Yeah, that's the one they found. So, which means the one they didn't find was probably 1,000 gallons.
Came in on that ship. Imagine the ones they didn't fucking open.
And when they find those, a lot of times it's accidental.
Just placed another order today, guys. Would love and stop fucking smuggling in fucking bullshit stuff like that. You're really fucking up my shipments. Like when I want a fucking dinosaur skeleton moved in, my shit has to sit in fucking harbor for 90 fucking days and shit because of your bullshit fucking 55-gallon drum or whatever fucking you're trying to bring in. Just placed another order today, guys. Would love to find a high school science teacher's job near you guys. Looking for land and for an atlas and looking for land for an atlas and new house. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. The only atlas I know is a fucking nuclear tip rocket that the Air Force uses.
I'll even coach high school soccer. Love the podcast and gear. Rex, man.
I'll bet the school has a fucking maybe.
No, I don't know if we have a soccer team. I love Camden, man. You should probably, if to be a teacher like you're talking about, you should probably look to some of the bigger towns. Look to Dixon, Nashville, stuff like that. But really, man, you should be looking at private schools, stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely private schools.
There's a lot of online programs too. Like if you're a teacher, teach fucking online. You can teach from your house. You have a lot more fucking time. You don't have the commute. You don't have to deal with those motherfuckers that you're gonna strangle and get in trouble. Nobody can say you did some shit. Like, teach online. Like Sebastian's online teachers. Fuck, man. 30% of the time, those motherfuckers didn't even show up for class while Sebastian was there. Like,
they'd be in fucking their pajamas and shit.
Yeah, I'm like, is that dude naked? What the fuck? Like, check that out, man. Look into online program because I mean, just imagine the time you have between classes that you could do shit at home.
We may actually. I mean, the reality is,
yeah, public school's going away.
Who knows how long regular schools are going to last? My sister was tapped just 2 years ago by Google they got a program going on right now where they're trying to figure out how to teach in the future. And so they're already working on programs to teach that don't utilize schools. So be prepared.
It's coming. Well, it's already here. I mean, it's just like government school is on its last fucking leg. Like the only one that doesn't realize it is them. The underground bunkers I was talking about with the cows are at Bluegrass Army Depot here in Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do the same thing at Camp Pendleton. Or it's not Camp Pendleton, it's what the fuck do they call that place? Fallbrook
Weapons Depot.
Yeah, Fallbrook Naval Weapons Depot.
You have mentioned Tim Pool several times, and I listened to him, but he is a total Bernie supporter. That socialist would love to take our guns, silence any dissent, and destroy our country.
Well, only guns that are not in the hands of communists.
I don't remember.
Buy an AK. I mentioned Tim Pool. I can't watch. I have not gone that far in the rabbit hole because 12 minutes of fucking podcast doesn't do anything for me. I need to be fucking listening to long form.
Who's the dude up there like Bernie Sanders and shit? The money dude controls all the money markets. If he even makes a fucking tweet about it'll crash a whole economy.
Fucking I can't think of that old man's name. I see him. He's like everybody's grandpa. Oh, fuck. You're talking about I bought Coca-Cola and raised the price a penny.
No. That was oh fuck, who's the terrible music singer that also has the same name as that dude?
Oh, I don't know. Because you listen to rap, so I don't know.
Anyways, the dude I'm thinking of was a Jew in World War II, and his father... Soros.
Okay.
So his father paid a German tax collector to take the kid, change his name, and then he went around the next 15 years taxing Jews.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did what I had to do to survive. That's who I was thinking of. Hey, John, I know it's none of my business, so if you don't want to answer, I understand. When you got raided and went to prison, did any asset forfeiture happen? No. They took fucking 2 truckloads full of shit that I never saw or got back. There was tons of that shit. They did not seize any bank accounts. I was never audited at that point. That's really it, right?
I wonder why they didn't audit you. Probably because of all the business you were doing with law enforcement anyways.
I don't know. I don't know. The bank accounts were all... They never locked them. They never seized them. Nothing like that. Because they weren't looking for any of that shit.
Yeah,
they knew it was bullshit when they did the raid.
Yeah.
Why do people watch the Oscars or other award shows? It is just members of Screen Actors giving themselves awards. For the same reason they watch the elections.
Yeah, it's our royalty. And that's why people watch that, because they think somehow it's going to make their lives better, even though those people are all miserable. But the worst ratings they've ever had this year, even though they were patting each other on the back.
They're no longer a going concern. What that means in a business is you're out of business, you just don't realize it. You are not bringing enough money in to cover your expenses and the debts owed. That is that's a going concern. If they're out of fucking business, they just don't realize they're out of business yet. Hey John, I know it's episode 45. If Trump legalized weed, do you think you'd still be able to own guns legally?
Well, yeah. If that changes everything. The reason why you can't buy a gun, I'll take it back. The reason why it's illegal for you to buy a gun if you smoke weed is because weed is illegal. It's a felony in the United States of America. Period.
How is weed a more highly controlled, worse, under the eyes of the government? How is that a worse drug than methamphetamine? Like, that's fucking absolutely crazy.
But okay, so the way it's actually worded is, I'd have to pull up the form,
Schedule 1.
But I'm talking about as far as owning a gun.
I'm not talking about
weed. It says weed, but then it also says any addictive substances.
Gotcha.
So technically, if you're addicted to pain pills, in theory, you could be, if they ever looked at that paperwork, and remember, all this stuff, for the most part, is retroactive. Now, so a couple years ago, they did 300. There was 330 some thousand NICS checks that came back fucking denied, right? In theory, if you filled out a form and sent it to the fucking feds, and they denied you purchase of a firearm, based off of whatever information you provided, you violated the law. So in theory, you could be prosecuted because anything that you put on there, because the only thing they do is they check your driver's license.
They would prosecute you under perjury.
Yeah, so so technically they could prosecute you. They've never prosecuted anybody for failing a background check, for failing the background check to buy a firearm. They just send it to the gun store, and then the gun store guys are like, you can't buy the gun. You've got, in California, they had some weird thing where, like, you got a certain amount of time to appeal it, blah, blah, blah. There's appeals process and all that bullshit, but it's just, we can't sell you a gun. Sorry. They never prosecute anybody for that. I highly doubt, well, I don't know, California's crazy, that the federal government has prosecuted anybody for smoking weed and owning a firearm. But it's all retroactive, meaning what they use that stuff for is after you've committed some other crime. It's just it's a rider that they will tack on and go, oh, by the way, you lied on your form too.
It's also
blah blah blah. It's
also a stepping stone to get a search warrant.
Yep. So it's their way of being able to go at the end of the day, hey, you're going to do 150 years in jail, and they just list all this stuff. And they know all that stuff's going to get ticked out, but they just want you to plead guilty to one.
If they legalize weed, and they still ask the weed question on the paperwork when you go to buy a gun, you better be concerned in the fucking future. And just because he legalizes it doesn't mean they will. That doesn't mean next term, fucking the next president doesn't criminalize it. And now you're on a list. So when it's illegal, I mean, at what point do they go back and fucking get that shit? I don't know that that's ever happened in history, but I would still be concerned with it. The big thing is, it's just like, hey, do you touch little kids? Tell us, and we'll just wipe that clean like it never happened. If somewhere down the line, they're going to come get you guys.
Yeah, if Trump does the Obama thing, and just says, hey, weed is legal without having Congress ratify it, then yes, the next president can come through and go, oh yeah, this is some bullshit, and throw it away, and then weed could be illegal. But I think your Congress will have no problem jumping on the bandwagon, because this is the reason why I say this, because you already have big companies, big pharma, and big booze jumping ship into the weed side of the house. So
they're also the people spending the most money. The prison system, number 1, alcohol, number 2. Pharmacy, number 3, spending the most money to keep weed criminalized.
So there's a lot of them that are jumping ship right now and starting weed, like Budweiser.
Yep, weed beer.
It just opened. They're doing a thing in Canada to make weed beer. There's a couple of big pharmaceutical companies that are trying to get weed scheduled for certain drugs that they want to do. Once that happens, the fucking senators, they're all getting their kickbacks. They're going to vote legalize weed anyway, so hopefully he'll do it before his term, before the elections are hopping, and it might help him, might not help him. I don't know.
Jack Spearco, the Survival Podcast, has had 5, maybe 6 people on that are in the CBD business, different aspects of it, and he had one on yesterday, and she's a holistic medicine nurse, dealing mostly with CBD oil and stuff, and you have a cannabinoid system in your body, and one of the questions Jack asked is, why would you have that? Why would you need that in your body? And one of her answers was, we used to range cattle, and hemp grew everywhere in the United States, literally fucking everywhere. And cattle grazed on it, so your body adapted to it over the last century or so, even longer than that. But different balances in your body, and for some people it's a miracle. Like some people it just fucking fixes things, and other people it doesn't fix things, and that a lot of that's just balances of your cannabinoid system. But if you have any interest in that shit, like I don't use CBD oil, I don't smoke weed or anything, but fucking if you have any interest, do the research. Don't just go buy the shit. Like, do the research, find out why you're doing it and what might work for you. And there's different strains of it. There's tons of different strains. It's literally like, the way I look at it is it's like your fucking doTERRA oil. This works for this. 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 This will grow a third arm. This one will, like, you got to find the one that fucking works for you, and you gotta try them. Absolutely, there is an airframe, but you need the cast of technicians to build and maintain the damn thing. Cody, I'm not sure what we're talking about. I did see
an airframe.
There's a Vietnam airframe.
Okay.
Of like the Jet Ranger.
Okay.
Looks like the helicopter that the sheriff used to fly around. It's for sale right now. You can get it with an inspection tag or without the inspection tag. There is no motor. There's no nose cone. There's no doors. There's no avionics in it. It literally is like just the frame. So what will we do? Make a rappel tower out of it? I guess. I don't know. It's kind of small, but it's sitting. I want to say it's in Nashville right now for sale. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace last night. In response to the nuclear power, new natural gas plants like Lackawanna, Pennsylvania Energy Plant, it will outspin or produce all nukes. That's what they're doing up here. This was a coal fire. There was 2 coal fires up here, and now they are natural gas. I want to say they're natural gas. It will outspin or produce all nukes except one in the USA. Built on time, ahead of schedule, 100% union. Don't worry, Skully, these plants are going to replace nukes. They already are. Profit margin and no buzzword attached. Kiowa Power is constructing them all over the U.S. Meanwhile, only new nuke I think he means being built in the U.S., is in Georgia, Vaughtle, behind schedule and due to constant NNSA updates and planning charges. Yes, I have worked both. I don't know where the other guy found the kilowatts per month into average about Tennessee. Nukes are dying. Somebody said could it be because of Oak Ridge? Because of the labs. What are the labs there?
I know what you're talking about, but Oak Ridge, if it's it
is a nuke, isn't it?
Yeah, but Oak Ridge would be producing its own power. They wouldn't be sucking off the grid.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the podcast. I replay them usually at least twice to catch things I may have missed. John, the link was a video how to install snow chains and drive a Porsche Panamera with them on. It was hilarious to me. I have never Googled Porsche or snow chains, but you said it on a podcast. Then on way out, you said snow. It popped up immediately next video. Also, Skully, use autoplay on YouTube.
Autoplay on YouTube.
So most car owners like that, they actually have a set of winter tires and a set of summer tires, especially dudes that live where there's a lot of ice and shit. There are tires that will fucking perform very well in conditions like that. And then some guys have studs and different tread patterns, different compounds, snow chains. I couldn't imagine putting fucking snow chains in my car. Maybe, I could lift the suspension on it. Same with the Range Rover, but there's not a lot of room in there, man. If you got some fucking ice built up in there, I couldn't imagine running anything more because I don't have a lot of clearance on any of the cars. Could Oak Ridge be the cause of your high power consumption? Love the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume that Oak Ridge, because remember Oak Ridge was a classified facility operating outside the norms. I would assume that Oak Ridge produces its own power, but maybe they are on the grid sucking power.
The Amazon link isn't at the bottom of the page. It's about a quarter of the way down, and you have to scroll to the right. Now, when you said that, I looked on my computer. You do not have to scroll to the right. Probably on the phone, I guess. There is a pay through Amazon link at the bottom of the page, though. Do you still get a percentage for pay through Amazon? Pay at the bottom of the page. Just curious. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Probably.
I don't know. I know that you
pay through Amazon.
I know that when you do that, and you do that through Amazon, you don't get a normal receipt for some reason. And a lot of times, for some reason, a lot of you guys that use that pay through Amazon thing, you're always the dudes asking me questions about your order, and you don't know your fucking order number. And a lot of times when you email us, we can't fucking find you. We eventually do, but I have to ask you a bunch more questions to get there. If you use your email address when you pay, no matter how you pay, our system sends you a confirmation. Go into your email when you have a question, find that, and reply to that. That'll give us all the data we need. My wife and I have been using the link that takes you directly to Amazon that you have to scroll right to see just in case. The link at the bottom doesn't actually take you to Amazon as far as I can tell. It's just a way to pay for your gear through Amazon Pay. And I think that's for dudes that actually have a credit line with Amazon is what that's for. And about how many new laws are on the books. California put 1,016 new laws on the books last year. Hopefully the state will fall into the ocean. And when the wall's built, they detour north and block the communist union out of this country too. Man, thanks for the information. Thanks for taking the time to use the link. Strapped a vehicle med kit to my Zero FX. The cord fits inside it great. I'll tag you guys in a picture of it on Instagram. Right on.
Cool.
For you guys that don't know, the Zero FX is an electric motorcycle. It's pretty fucking cool, man. You should check it out.
I was looking at some this weekend.
It should have a sound, though, like the Cylons.
I was looking at them this weekend. There's a place in Nashville. They sell them.
$8,000.
The ones I saw were all 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you were in Nashville this weekend?
No, I was just I was looking at them on
I was working on my business page
eBay.
Wednesday morning and sending invites. I hit select all in the personal friends list and okay before I thought about it. It wasn't my intention to spam your pages or to leech off your traffic. My apologies. I have not a fucking clue what you're talking about. Ordered it yesterday. Can't wait to thank you. Thank you, everyone at SOE.
What do you order?
He doesn't say.
Oh. It should have shipped today, maybe?
NSF. Well, if you ordered it Monday, fuck it. I ordered it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, 22 hours ago? Yeah, it should have shipped
funky.
today. NSF NOAA has a few A-10s. They were setting up to fly into supercells for
I
hail
forgot about that,
and tornado research. Not sure where they're at now, but not too long ago, at least one of them was at the city airport in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Unfortunately, the cannons were removed. Oh, that's probably what Cody was talking about.
A-10. Yeah, I forgot because the Air Force. Here's the thing about the A-10 that most of you might not know or may know. The Air Force fucking hates that aircraft. They hate it with a passion. They have been trying to kill that fucking plane forever. I mean, 20 years ago they were trying to kill that plane. The Air Force hates it. With a passion. They have tried to kill that fucking airplane so many times, and
the fucking CCT guys love it.
Oh man, here's the thing: that airframe, and that aircraft is by far the best aircraft that the U.S. hands down, the best aircraft that the military has in service to support ground troops.
What does an A-10 pilot do when there's not a war? I mean,
they
mothball all those fucking planes.
Well, so what they tried first, they tried to mothball them. Then the Army was like, "Hey, fuck faces, the Air Force does not provide any anti-tank support for the Army." So they're like, "Hey, you need to bring these back." And then the Air Force is like, "Fuck those fucking planes. We don't want them. They're too slow and too dumb. We want fucking rocket ships." And so they initially put them all in the National Guard. Okay. And so there was guard units.
It was guard units.
It was guard units using it. And now I think they actually have wings back in the Air Force because
So like when Gulf War kicked off, did we have pilots or did we have to train?
Yeah, we had pilots. But best fuck. There's no, hands down, there is no fucking aircraft that can stay on the battlefield in support of ground troops with the amount of ordnance that it carries than any other aircraft. I mean, better than a fucking Apache helicopter, better than a fucking Cobra helicopter, better than an F-35 Raptor. It is the best aircraft, hands down, because it can loiter. It can loiter on the battlefield for a long time. So that A-10, it's slow and dumb, will fly around for a long time to support operations on the ground. And it's not just that cannon. It's got fucking pylons, too, for bombs. So that A-10 is a fucking...
Yeah, it's got rocket pods.
It's a fucking formidable aircraft. The Air Force hates it because it's slow and dumb. That's all. They want... they want the cover of fucking magazines with spaceships and fucking stealth planes that can only carry 2 bombs on them. They're not... Air Force isn't concerned about fighting wars. But those A-10s, man, that was one of the best developed and put together aircraft that the Air Force has ever put out. That as far as fighting wars, as far as combat goes, we don't own a better aircraft. I mean, outside of the fucking B-52 is pretty close.
Once they're on station, that's called wagon wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just sit up.
They just fucking
do circles.
They just do circles until you're ready to fucking
until CAS calls or whatever. And if you look at any of the gun footage, like any chatter you heard, it was all when dudes were calling for fire. It was A-10s or F-18s.
Yep.
Those are the only people that came to any fucking rescue.
Those fucking planes are awesome, and the Air Force is fucking retarded for wanting to get rid of them. I know it's because it's old technology, but sometimes old technology is the best technology. That's why the most strategic bombings are still done by B-52s. Even the B-1 can't fucking hold up to the B-52.
Mr. Downrange, # with her vagina.
Hashtag with your vagina.
Got a refill because that's how. What's her name? The chick that Camilla or whatever.
Oh, is it? Is that her name?
She got those positions.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, I forgot.
Got a refill of Cock of the Woods cologne today. Makes my wife moist. And then somebody said, just moist? You got to be you're not wearing enough. And then somebody else said, you didn't spray enough on it. Should be dripping wet. And the last comment, I met you guys the night before the last party. Love talking to you too. Seeing you guys in person kind of freaked me out. Podcasts are fire. Hashtag turd bandit.
Turd bandit. I love it. All
right, guys.
All right, that's number 2 for today.
Now we are caught up.
We're kind of caught up. We won't be.
That fucking
John digs around and finds comments all over the place.
That last podcast was fucking great. All the Indiana Jones shit and your fucking Russian story. Holy shit.
This one was good.
This one was okay. It was good. Go back and listen to the last one though if you haven't.
No, that was because it was 50, man. You got all the stops for 50.
All right.
This is 51. It's all downhill from here.
We'll just stop doing it once we hit 100.